I'm having less difficulty with that. But I still think he's viable. I think right now the light champions still are a bit too impactful. So going into DreamHack Winter, I expect we'll still see quite a bit of Nick/Anarchy. But it's okay for now, as long as we see like if we go into DreamHack Winter like that, I hope we see some changes very, very soon after. And what would be cool is if they do have any changes coming in, but it's like, oh well, it's only gonna be ready just before winter. Then like make it so that players just play on like the current patch, and then allow like everyone else to use the new stuff. You know, I don't know if that would be possible, but that would be really cool. I'll change it because we are in best of 3, so we're moving into the semi-final. We got Alta beat Nico. Let Alta beat him. I say let. Alta's not a bad player. I would have expected Nico to have won.
Man, me and Slash are still totally BFFs.
I find it super satisfying to hit air rockets on Doomslayer though. That's one of my favorite things to do. When you get a good rocket, especially when you know that he's about to jump and you fire, like, and he just jumps into it or something, or when he's already done both his jumps, you can kind of just, he's still in some air in the air for quite a long time, so you get the sort of the juicier air rockets. Let's jump into this one, guys.
3, 2,
Phaze versus Agent, starting together. This is a bad place for you to be in. Very weird that Phaze even decided to go up that far. I mean, he lost a lot of time. He's trying to get some good movement going around, and it's not too bad, but he is so low on health at the moment. Boy just needs some HP. So he's kind of locked himself out of the map. I wonder if he's going to actually try and challenge for... Not bad movement just then. He's got himself off-railable stacked, but he's given a lot of items over to Agent. He's done damage for a while. Only after the second rotation is he actually getting the rockets. Still needs to fill his health up too. Wow, I can't believe he's got the Mega on top of that. Agent dropping the ball for a second. And Phaze's movement has really been the star of the show for him, and saving grace and allowing him to get back in this game. He's taken 2 big items. And really, you should be getting the LG if you're going versus a Doom. You can do a lot of damage on Doom right now. Not picking up the LG is certainly a mistake in my eyes. So I hope he goes around to get it. There we go. Don't know if we can get the trap on him, but the rockets, they're going to beat each other with it, and that is going to be armor up. Oh, race down for the rockets. Go in the hands of Phaze. He picked up both of them too. And honestly, I think even versus a Nyx, you should be getting the LG. I don't find... Whoa, alright. Nicely done, Phaze. I don't find Nyx to be that difficult a target to hit, but obviously you want to get the angle right. You don't just want to be LGing him because he's in range and you can see him. You need to be LGing him when he's... I don't know, when you're trying to go against him on the higher ground, or not when he's just strafing super fast or something like that. Very, very nice work from Phaze. His combat skills have been great, and Anarchy proving hugely successful versus Agent.
Round begins in 3.
I should have done a little prediction thing at the beginning of this, actually, guys.
2. Fight.
Phaze is going to be going Sorlag off the start. This is nice. Security, armor too. That was a good read by Phaze. I think he realized that the armor hadn't been taken based on the position Agent had. So he decided to press in with the rocket jump and really making a good use of his early spawn. He's got to keep the pressure on. Mega was hoovered up by Agent. He's going to let him get on armor. He does. But he's got a chance to still get the frag. Oh, that last bit of damage from Agent was too much. And Phaze, his item game, just letting him down a little bit there. He's given up position on Mega. And the thing with Phaze is his combat skills get him a long way. If he could combine those combat skills with, you know, good item control, timing, and, you know, understanding on that, Phaze would actually be a very scary player to go against. But it's just been a big blocker to him. I mean, he'd be well in the lead if he had a good item timing. 100 super buttons on Phaze. Armor's up in a second. Oh, he gets one more rocket out, but it's not going to be enough damage. I'll switch over to Agent's point of view. Wow. And all this is happening is because Phaze's item off. If it was on, it would be honestly a very different story. Oh, he's got some airtime at the moment. He kind of just stood up as he was using some verticality over and over, just up and down, up, and sometimes up a bit more. I mean, it's been brutal for Phaze. This round has been hopefully a wake-up call, actually. Because he really needs to get his head on the items. And it's kind of hard to do that just mid-round unless you really just stop and focus on nothing else but that. So hopefully at the beginning, you know, Phaze has taken an armor, Agent's taken a mega. Phaze should be able to think right off the bat. Alright, I've got a canvas to work from. I know when some of this was taken, some of these items were taken. Let's go from there. Agent took 70 damage worth of acid spit tick. That's a lot. He walked back over it. He got the mega in the end. But if Phaze had decided to push in, that could have gone badly for Agent. Agent's going to try and find a position again for the mega. Agent actually very good with items, very good with control. Oh, Phaze, he didn't quite make it off like the way he wanted. He's probably going to try to get down to armor. This has been excellent damage from Agent. He's woken up in a big way on this game. Phaze is going to have to absolute jet it out of there. Uh-oh. What is Phaze doing with his movement? Oh, Agent's missing everything. And Phaze, only now has he taken a health bubble. He was still railable. I think he's just been doing backwards movement. Like, looking at the crosshair. Sorry, the crosshair? The model through the X-ray. The X and the cross, Jesus Christ. The X-ray, the cross ray. It's just like so bizarre when Saul like goes backwards. Nice damage from Phaze, despite him not getting onto items. Oh, what a fail, actually. Despite him not getting onto items, he's been doing a good job at keeping Agent at bay. Agent has been doing a good job with items, but his combat skills have been letting him down a little bit. The last fight was alright for him, but there wasn't enough, or a big enough difference in the damage done, so more for him and less for Phaze, that he could justify pushing in. Needs to hit. There's one round. LG now. He can secure a kill if he can land a rail or follow up. Oh my god, the amount of damage that Phaze has done. LG takes him down but almost dies. That was super messy from Agent. I'd really expect him to hit a bit more there. You can't say that it was bad for Phaze. It was nice for him too. These are some sick rails from Agent. But equally so from Phaze, actually. Managing to tie the champion score up straight away. I really feel, though, that Agent should have won the round, though. With the amount of control he's had, Phaze has really had to step up the pressure with his damage. He's done so excellent well. And he'd go in. Oh, he's just missed the timing. The spam came a little too early and then a little too late. Okay, we see people talking about the staggering of items there was in Quake Live that there isn't anymore. And yes, I actually kind of missed that too. And I missed that at the beginning. It was one of the first things I noticed. And the first things I thought really changed the game, even almost more so than the abilities and everything. I kind of liked that. I think it really added to the mind games and how much thought there is behind just, you know, WASD and strafing and fighting and everything like that. There's just a strategic element of the game that added an extra layer of depth. Looks like we're going to be entering overtime unless one of them gets fragged very quickly. Good damage here. The rail can't follow up. 3 HP. Someone needs to land something, and it is going to be Agent. Oh, I don't disagree, Spawn, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to default to saying ESDF in a conversation rather than WASD. Forward, left, backwards, right. I guess with the item times though, you don't want it to end up being like mental arithmetic champions at the same time. And Quake Live, one of my critiques was that, you know, it did feel a bit maths heavy sometimes. Sure, it was fun and we loved it, but maybe it was a blocker for some people. Although you could really distinguish, you know, players who could time and players who couldn't. You had some also great players that didn't time, but they had played so much that they could just do everything by feel. And that's something very difficult to do. That takes quite a few hundred and maybe even thousand duels to get right. To get and be comfortable with the rhythms of the duel without timing items. That was a rocket. Oh, beautiful Agent. Is that Phaze saying he's tilted? I don't know. spawn. Say, try to get that broad repeal without having too much timing involved. Oh, that would have been a kill if FaZe could have landed that shot. I think it's important that they do focus on making it an accessible game. And I don't want them to, you know, take big risks to complicate it unnecessarily to please our die-hard fans. If it's going to risk the game, you know, not getting the player base that it, you know, needs or deserves. Quite landing the rails like earlier, but not going to bother him. He's well marked in the lead and his controls. I really want to look at this round and see what the controls are like to. Right, it's going to win. 0 heavies for FaZe. Oh, aerial! Oh, but FaZe is going to land it. Let's have a quick look. 0 heavies, 4 megas, but 6 heavies and 2 megas. So there's been 4 more major items for Agent this round than there's been for FaZe. That's a significant amount. I know that FaZe's Anarchy is pretty sick. Let's see what we can do with it. There's one. There's another. Forces out that Ghost Walk. He needs to make it out of here. Nice little movement from him. This armor's not up forever. I don't know why he's getting down here. There's absolutely 0 reason for Agent to be there unless he was hiding. So I guess, you know, in hindsight, maybe it could have been a good check, but I don't think it was what he was checking for. And now he's not at armor when he should be at armor. This is again. I think you can see the amount of opportunities that FaZe loses by not having that solid timing. And there is Ghostwalk up again. So he saw that Agent was up there, and he's like, well, if the timings are at the same time, it means he can't have taken the armor. But I go down and the armor's not there. I'm going to check again. Now he's here, so the item either has been taken or is up soon. Forces out the Ghost Walk, finds it. Now he can get his head in it. And now he should look for the frag again. Sees him. This is bad news there. Agent is probably going to die here unless something goes horribly wrong. And 5 seconds ago, looks like we're going to get a tied round. So you can see what happened with FaZe. He didn't have the knowledge, but he was checking regularly so that he could try and buy it. And maybe for Agent, the fact that he was there early for the item, or 4 or 5 seconds early, and waiting for it, was probably a bad move for Agent. Because if he wasn't there so early, FaZe probably wouldn't have known that the item was going to spawn soon. And maybe would have left before the item did spawn. Because he was there, FaZe hung around. Never seen Raising Quick Live. When did he start playing? Yeah, basically what Kozil said. He never competed in Quake Live, but he was playing a lot. I think he had one of the highest elo rankings there are on what was it, duelstats.net by the end of it. But you know what? He's actually ended up playing things really well for himself. And I think no matter if the game changes, no matter how it changes, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Razy, you know, consistently at the top, unless like a whole load of people work really hard to you know, dethrone him from like a top 5. You know, it also might be something to look at for Myztro, that if Quake does get bigger, then that's going to be a player they're going to need to hold on to somehow. Who knows if like big orgs come in and things like that, it could the landscape for poaching players and building teams and stuff could really ramp up a lot. Yeah, Claw's winning Quake. Yeah, I think it was good, but don't think for a second that Claw's is new to Quake, because he's still played Quake since he was, I don't know, like 12, 13 or something like that, like since he was young. And he won when he Quake won when he was 19. I think he's still 19. I'm not sure. But he's someone with sort of natural talent for FPS. Oh, we are 2.5 minutes into this match. Oh, the rail just missed. Phaze has got a strong advantage, but he misses his jump. I think that was a great move, but he had to be further up the steps to make that jump easier to get. So the item's been taken by Agent comfortably. Great job. On another one. Spot on. It looked so certain, actually, that Agent was heading in the right direction to take the series, but it's not played out that way. Yeah, you're right, Spawn. Young man and old man's game is a good way to put it. And I think it's great. As much as I also love seeing people in their 30s competing. Oh, hold on a second. He's going to find him, I think. Oh, the rail, very ambitious weapon. He should... LG would have actually been a good option there. And that, he finishes it. And that was a difficult angle right there to hit on. But you could see that he executed that amazingly. Phaze looking good for map number 1. I think it's also good seeing on like CSGO that we've got players like Taz and so on. We could be seeing the end of this first map actually at any moment now. I don't know why Phaze wasn't pushing in towards the Mega. Got to be careful not to be over aggressive. I think he knows that he's got not long left. Hitting a great shot, can't follow it up, and armor is taken. He just needs to hang on. Gonna go over to Agent and see if there's anything he can do in his last 40 seconds. Anything he can do is got to be basically landing crap blows. He's gonna chase. It's hard for him to chase directly against the speed of the Anarchy. And I think that's what he's struggling with. Although Visor can pick up speed a lot, it's hard for him to lock someone down. You do not want to get caught on a bounce pad like this. Maybe he can get the kill. But 5 seconds, there's going to be the delay there, and I think Agent realizes there's nothing he can do. Oh, he actually found him for a second. He wouldn't have been able to kill him. Well played, Phaze. I was saying it's nice to see players like Taz, who are 30 plus years old, competing at a really high level in CSGO when it is such a, and when there is such strong infrastructure in the game and so many people competing. It's nice seeing that. But I think when there aren't a lot of people competing and it's, you know, like top, I don't know, 5 players in a tournament are dominated by, you know, people in their 30s, I think that's less of a good picture. So it is still nice to see how good Claw's did. And I'm not saying all Quake players are that old, but we've got quite a lot of old players. Yeah, Wenger, I wouldn't feel bad for a moment, man. Phaze is a decent player. I think going into DreamHack Winter, Kilson, he needs to keep working hard, and he stands a very good chance at winning that tournament. And I think, like, for him, it's something that could really impact his life a lot if he can win DreamHack Winter. So I want to see him gunning for it. I don't want to see him getting involved in any sacrifice business. I just want him to say, go duel, go hard on it, and get a good result. Because for him, he can really, that can really make a difference to him. Alright, this is map picked by Agent. And he slash Solag, Visor, Nyx, Doomslayer. Evil Rafa for yet another time. It's kind of nice in a way that Quake Live managed to have another classic rivalry at the back end of the game. Because it was like they only meet at QuakeCon, obviously. And they gave some awesome, awesome matches. I think it's been a few too many weeks since I've watched the grand final at QuakeCon, so I think I might have to watch it again this evening. Alright, I've got to change the map scores. Peak pauses, peak custom will be epic. Yeah, for sure.
Round begins in.
Once I get over the fact that I'm listening to myself, Tedeg, and it's really not too bad. I got DDK there to make me mind it less. Alright guys, we're on map 2 right here of the semi-finals of the ESL Duel Challenge Cup. There's brutal damage being done by FaZe, but Agent's still got a healthy amount of health. But no better way to say it. What the hell, that nail gun? He's somehow found so many angles for it. Got items spawning in again in a second. Oh, he's under so much pressure. That rocket, was that taken from where he died? Possibly. FaZe is just going backwards at the moment. He's invoking the power of Vu. Oh, and getting the rockets to work. Soon gonna have to say it isn't about Vu. It's about FaZe. Oh, I thought that was going to be a direct for a moment. This kind of backwards, sideways dodging is helping him out quite a lot at the moment. Oh, but he's going in a bit too hard. Oh, the angle is so close to being there. You could taste it. Zach's tied up again, but he's railable, so he needs to chill out. He'd be waiting in future many seconds if he wanted to get that small armor. He's really chilling out a long time to make sure he's just not railable. Thing is, if he takes an ounce of damage, he's going to be back on the slow game. Well, with the current champion advantage, there's the reason to commit. I think the one thing, like if I was to tell or coach FaZe into being a better dueler, I'd probably get him to just play any deathmatch or team deathmatch and just time both big items for the whole game or something, you know? Or just do that for duels only. Don't focus on anything but making sure you time both the items. Or, even better, play Quake Live. If you can time in Quake Live, you sure as hell can time in Quake Champions. So the LG out. That was great damage. Only that angle. Oh yeah, Phaze, I don't think has a lot to work on to be a really, really good dueler. And he's already, you can see the amount of pressure he puts on Agent, taking that first map and getting a good edge on the second map. Very nice.
2, 1. Round 2. Fight.
Although I am nervous for Agent moving towards DreamHack Winter. The way things are for him at the moment, I don't even know if he'd get out of groups. So nice there, Phaze. I think he has a lot of, Agent's got a lot of really good fundamental skills. His aim is not bad at all, his combat skills are fine. His timing's obviously fine, he's good at the weapon control, like he's a very competent, decent, high level player. And he's missing something. Phaze, you're probably gonna die now. Oh wow. Oh, that scared the crap out of him. He heard his invisibility go out and he just walks right into him. Agent with some chance for cam time now. Agent's gotta be careful. Could have seen Agent even dropping then. Oh, what a shoot. I think that Quake Champion's way at the moment is... It's hard to be at the top if at least some part of your combat skills aren't amazing. There's no Veil, no rockets at all for Agent. He needs to pick up some more. I think it was like Vu, he's got fantastic rockets, kills him. I mean, his aim in general is amazing, but he's got that rail to it that if he's executing with that, he just puts on so much pressure. And Claw's aim in general is unbelievable, but when LG's working, and if it's a patch where LG's very usable, then holy crap, he could be even more scary. And then you got players obviously like Cypher's got unbelievable aim. The thing with Agent, his aim's good, but it's just not great with any of the weapons. And because he got really good at Quake Live, and it was more because of how he controls a map, puts pressure at the right time, and really uses... I mean, he's really not that far off the type of player that Rafa is. But I think Rafa is probably a better aimer. I just think Agent's going to really struggle to break the absolute elite list of players. Dodges that last rocket, which cuts up quite a bit. Oh, he gets the last shot. Fortunately, there is still a champion left for the two of them. Because I think Phaze would have got that frag just a little sooner otherwise. Get LG, I think, for sure. He did very well with LG before against Visor. Don't sell yourself out of the game if you don't want to take it. nowhere near where you thought he was then. The clutch era was the worst of it. I think so too. I'm so glad the clutch era is over. Oh my god. We are going to go overtime most likely.
Sudden death.
What's good though is coming out of the clutch era is that it's really cool now when you see someone pick clutch. Like it's a lot of fun. Oh, he's got to get out. I think he wanted to do a bit more, but he can't. Okay, I think he realized that he missed his jump, and that was the only window he had if he wanted to get over to the other health pebbles. Oh, in terms of the amount of time we've had in Quake Champions, I think it was a bit of an error. I'd go with both. Or wouldn't have got a kill, but would have been absolutely bombed. Oh wow. That little combo there with the rockets. Not enough predictive rockets from Agent himself. Oh my god. My back.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Fight.
Face to move in like that. It seemed quite dangerous. Fortunately for him, he wasn't able to get enough rockets. Darting through the air, yeah, he still keeps pressuring with the lightning gun. He's gonna even get a kill from this. If he can land anything, he can't quite though. Oh my god! Oh, he hits the rail in time though. Wow. I think it was cool what Phaze did, but I think it was way too aggressive, and I think he was super lucky not to die. I don't think that's the kind of play you should be doing much for that reason. But at the same time, it's kind of a cool little card you can pull out sometimes if your opponent's not expecting it. You know, like in poker, if you're folding a lot, then people are gonna say, see, when you raise, they're gonna be like, oh, he's probably got a hand because he's, you know, folding so often. That just makes sense. If you can like put on a different face or something like that and pull these out so that, you know, the bluffs work, then that's fine. The thing is, Phaze is so naturally aggressive that I think you should be able to prepare yourself well for his aggression more often than not. Plenty of rockets there. Don't know how he didn't hit some of the earlier ones. Oh, nice little shot from Phaze through the teleporter. Oh, brilliant prediction. Yeah, Phaze really going overly aggressive in this round. He's kind of taking it to the next level. Volume's gone up to 11. Friday, fun, fun, fun. Apparently been some good improvements, so in some sense, yes, and wow. Agent got obliterated just then. Got the Mega as well. That was good. That was very good timing from Phaze, actually. I think he just saw where Agent was with that spit. Oh, he misses out on the shot. He's got no rockets. He has now. He's able to get away. That was close. Ooh, no, how's all coming up at just the right moment. Yeah, Friday Fun for Fun. I've heard that stutters at the beginning of games have gone. I only tried one deathmatch and it had gone. I wasn't getting it. Whoa. I could just land right direct that. Again, another great shot. He's going to try to close it out. And Phaze wins 3-0 on map 2. Is going to send himself to the grand final of tonight's ESL Duel Challenge Cup. Oh, well done, sir. That is a glorious result. Whoop. Solid stuff. So, Wenger, I know you're in chat there, and I know you played Phaze just before. He's a good player, so do not feel bad about losing 2-1 to him. You could say that, Wenger. If you met Agent, who knows what would have happened. I will stick with Phaze in that case. Because he's going to play Pikawa next. Can't believe I lost against Agent. What happened to the defrag? Well, that's it, Vector. I've been playing defrag.